If you're an employee, to figure out how to use this stuff is such an unlock that like you can legitimately 2 to 3x your salary.
Or you go to Chat GPT. I want to be a marketing manager. Okay, I just submitted 1,000 applications for you.
This is pretty much about as high leverage as it gets of being able to hire 500 people with a $200 a month subscription plan.
There was a farting app on eBay for sale for $1 million. You're never too late for anything. You only know that you were late once it's over. I opened up a Chat GPT operator in 10 different tabs, and I wanted to see how many could run concurrently. And it was 6. I had 10 prompts in 10 tabs, and I ran 6, and then I click 7, and it's like, nope, too many. So I ran 6, and then I would close one, and then run the 7th, close one, run the 8th. And it was the most beautiful thing I've ever captured on my screen in my life. It was amazing.
Some people collect cars, other people NFTs and fancy Bored Ape yacht clubs.
I do that too.
Chris is out here with Chrome tabs.
That's right.
What were they doing?
I got one operator to run ChatGPT for me. I had ChatGPT running ChatGPT, which was crazy.
We were talking on my podcast yesterday as far as like fear of will we have employees, and it's going to quickly become you can build massive outputs. Like, you talk about leverage, right? And like this is pretty much about as high leverage as it gets of being able to hire 500 people with a $200 a month subscription plan or whatever that looks like. That's going to be incredible.
Well, dude, the thing was I had 6 running at a time, and 4 of them didn't need any help from me. It didn't need any help.
And what were they doing? Once running ChatGPT, what's the rest of them doing?
One of them was looking for arbitrage opportunities with used cars and then assigning NADA and Kelley Blue Book values to them. One of them was scraping Chamber of Commerce websites for email addresses, and it had like 100 tabs open. Like I could see at all these tabs.
It's going to be pretty crazy too when you can how there's the LL. For anyone listening to this that's technical, ignore my monkey brain as far as like
forget it.
Called LLMs.
LLM. Yeah.
Local
language learning models.
Language learning models. Oh, so what is it called when you feed it a set amount of documents, pages, whatever, and then it takes all of its insights from that? Maybe it's not as important. Whatever the term is, it'll be really interesting if I can install something on my MacBook that says just watch
like
watch
a local.
Watch what I do over the next 20 business days. And the way I respond to things, I want you to respond to things. The way that I, take notes here, you take notes. And whenever I want to train you, if you see me jumping from Gmail to this software, I'll pull out my notes app and I'll type in the notes app why I'm doing it as if I have a mentee that's sitting right next to me. And then it just absorbs all of that data. And it's the equivalent of having an intern that's coming into your company and you're training them. And then it's, all right, get to work now.
Yeah. So that kind of partially exists. There's a program called Limitless AI. Have you heard of that?
No. What's Limitless?
It started as Rewind.ai. It's a Silicon Valley company. They rebranded. They just shipped a pendant, which I'm a pre-order of. So it's an app plus a wearable, but the app stands alone. You don't need to have the wearable. And the pendant is just like a clip, and it just records everything. It hears everything. It recognizes voices. You can tell it, hey, this guy doesn't want to be recorded. Okay, I won't record him. Anonymize this. I've got mine is coming in the mail any day now, and I cannot wait. And it's going to record everything. Now, for what you were talking about, the Mac app and the iPhone app does that. It will record everything on your screen. And then you can say, what was that tweet I saw about so-and-so 3 weeks ago? Oh, it was this. But it's not quite to the point where it's like, all right, you know how I do things. You've been watching for a month. Go tell this to Stephanie, right? It's not quite there yet.
So we talked a little bit yesterday about you thinking that this can be a huge unlock for elderly people with a ChatGPT app wrapper. Like, God, to be an executive assistant right now, I would be terrified.
I mean, yes. So one hand, yes. On the other hand, like the executive assistant has to position it as, hey, look what I just learned. Look what I just learned. Look what I just learned. It's like, all right, you're my guy or you're my girl for this, right? Can you run these spreadsheets through it and see if we can save money here? Sure. Like That's how an executive assistant can go from making 40,000 a year to 400,000 a year, right? But most people aren't going to be inclined to do that. They're just going to be like, oh, shucks. Well, I guess I.
There are 304,000 executive assistants in the United States based on job numbers today. This can capture a whole hell of a lot of market share from there. And I think the most interesting versions of these are going to be the same with, you see all the staffing agencies popping up now, the somewhere.coms,
Mm-hmm.
growth assistants, whatever else, making niche operators models, because eventually they're all going to do everything, right? So, if you want to go to Chat GPT and have it do anything, it will. But I think specifically building around what are the highest, the TAM, would it be TAM? Maybe either TAM or just like most niche services of these would be super effective. So like the ones that I would come out with right off the bat would probably be executive assistants. The other one would probably be some form of bookkeeping service or software.
Mm-hmm.
Another one within a company specifically, probably some form. I mean, I don't want to say admin or like project manager, but like it's got to be more niche. I mean, I would imagine the CX ones are kind of already getting heavily overblown.
I'm worried about the somewheres of the world, honestly. Like all these offshore recruiters,
Same.
because you and I both know a lot of these guys. There's every other guy on Twitter has an offshore recruiting company, and executive assistants is like the 80-20 of it. Like that's who they're finding people. They're not really finding a lot of bookkeepers or video editors or these niche things. It's like someone help me with my emails, right?
No, I agree.
That's tough.
All right, so here's something that this kind of revolves around AI more than anything. It is, I'm not going to use names and I'm not going to use the company name. Let's just say, for the sake of this conversation here, it's a super fast growing company that everyone who listens to your podcast has heard of. And it's not like a FANG company or whatever, but like you've heard of them. So I have a friend, the friend's significant other works at this company. They do sales. And the sales process is you round robin leads. As the leads come in, they submit the contact us form or whatever they do. And they fill out the doc and they get round robin into a sales rep. Now that sales rep has 15 minutes to, I think it's 15 minutes, 15 or 30 minutes, something like that, to respond to the lead. Hey, so-and-so, here to help you, whatever. Otherwise, they lose the lead. Pretty typical process for, I think, a good amount of sales teams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they lose the lead, what happens is that lead then goes into, it's either a shared email thread or a Slack channel, and it's up for grabs for everyone. And so anyone can grab it and jump on it. Now, the way that you claim it is, I believe you either have to click on the link and then it automatically gets assigned to your name in a CRM, or you react to it in Slack or something of that nature. So my friend's significant other is doing the sales job, and they're like, this sucks because I'm losing my own leads because I'll be on a demo and I'll get a new lead in. And if I don't respond to it because I'm talking to somebody else trying to sell them, I lose
Mm-hmm.
it. Secondly, like there are other people on the team who all they do is just sit in that Slack channel. And so if you're not responding to that lead within the first like 10 seconds, maybe not 10 seconds, maybe like 30 seconds, you lose it, like for sure.
You're a victim of your own success.
Exactly. And so my friends, for their significant other, went to some AI development app when he's not technical, just to like throw that out there, not technical in the slightest, built a program where basically it'll run on your computer and it will find a Slack channel and it'll instantly click on the link the second that something is sent. That person's significant other is now the top sales rep at this company.
Oh man,
gets almost every lead. And it makes you think, like, we talk all the time about like entrepreneurs like cracking the code and like getting more alpha out of this, and maybe they need less employees. If you're an employee, to figure out how to use this stuff to do your job is such an unlock that like you can legitimately 2 to 3x your salary if you're in a commission-based role, or probably potentially just work at multiple jobs, which I'm not a fan of from an employee standpoint, but you could probably get a lot of alpha from that. What do you think?
My brother-in-law just took a job with a $130 million company in the Southeast United States. Very boomer-owned company, very old school, like everything. The product they sell, the industry, it's all very old school. But, family-owned, been around for 50 years, $130 million. And very efficient because they only have like 100 and something employees, right? He just joined the company on the sales team. And he starts talking about Chat GPT, and they're like, what Chat GPT? He's like, yeah, Chat GPT. And they're like, huh, what is that, like a cryptocurrency? They don't know. And so I asked
Yeah.
him, I said, what percentage of your colleagues not like have heard about it, but like use it occasionally? He says 5%. 5.
Wow.
Which that can't be normal. That can't be average, right?
I don't know. I
But
bet it is. Like,
and so I tweeted about it and I said 15% because I didn't think that people would believe me. I thought they would think I was lying. And I sent the tweet to him and he's like, dude, it's 5, like it's legitimately 5%.
nothing like thinking that somebody is gonna think you're lying, so you lie so that way they think they
I
can tell
know.
you the truth.
I know. I know. But he looks like a god to them. He's like an alien from the future. Like, tell us what's going to happen. It's the free Chat GPT plan. That's it.
Well, so I mean, on that note too, like my dad, 60 years old, doesn't know a whole lot about ChatGPT, AI, all of that stuff. Had an insurance thing that recently came up, had to file a claim, wanted to figure out, what he was eligible for that claim. So he sends me the 125-page document that is his insurance binder. Quick upload to Claude, quick upload to ChatGPT, say, here's exactly what happened, find everything that's relevant, spit it out for me. Like anyone listening, this is a very textbook cut and dry use case of something like this. He sent me the document, and within 15 minutes, because it took me 5 minutes to see the email, 10 minutes to do the work, spit it back out into a Google Doc, export it as a PDF, send it back to him, and it's like, here are the exact sections and page numbers. Here is the summary at the top, and it's the perfect ChatGPT response to everything. And he calls me, he's like, you did not just read that 125-page document in 15 minutes. And he's like, how did you find this so quick? And I was like, on top of it, there's a couple tools online because it's not worth explaining. Like AI is doing everything, but blown away. So yeah, I mean, I think it is early innings, and I think that's probably pretty common sense to anyone listening here. But what do you think about you talking about your brother-in-law here? We talk all the time about entrepreneurial uses. What's the new business that can be started? Somebody might have been Greg Eisenberg just posted today on Twitter, like all of the YC themes for 2025 of what they're looking for in its AI agents to replace $100,000 employees. Okay, understood. If I'm an employee listening to this right now, which you have a very entrepreneurial audience, but I bet it's still more employees just by the power law and the nature of that. Let's go through different employee classes that they can just go from a contributor to a 10xer without more work. You think that'd be helpful?
Yeah. So just go to start thinking of job titles. So video is cool, but you know what's better? Long form audio via podcast and my newsletter, tkopod.com. Go there to subscribe for free to my newsletter. It's 1 email a week, very tactical. And then go to my audio podcast, 3 episodes a week, stuff like this. You're going to love it. All free, no sleazy sales pitch, tkopod.com.
I'm even just thinking from a marketing standpoint, or I don't know, if you're in sales,
assume they want to keep their job, you're saying. How can they embrace AI to keep their job and make a lot more money?
Exactly. And I'm even thinking I'm in operating with the recruiting world right now, right, with Constant Hire. So I have 2 recruiters on our team right now. Their job today is something that I currently don't think AI can do a very good job with, which is evaluating talent. And it's the same way where, the bulk of the workflow of what somebody does today, you go on LinkedIn Recruiter Pro, you enter in all the keywords, I want to hire a lifecycle marketer. They got to have Klaviyo in the bio. They got to have Shopify. They got to have, the word LTV somewhere in there. Okay. AI can do that, but also so can filters on LinkedIn, really. So it's not really a huge unlock there. What can AI then do to evaluate talent better? Do you want to jump on a demo and AI is gauging them from a video call? Because most interviews, you can't know if they're a weirdo or not in the first 2 minutes. Or what would that process look like?
Could you have them upload a Loom video of them talking through something and then you upload the video to AI?
I think to your point too, on the outbound messaging side with Facebook Marketplace is super relevant. Even just there's a ton of work that needs to get done with just the open new tab, copy and paste message, send message, wait for response, send calendar link, something that BDRs do all day long. Do they have to?
I mean, there's this company that just raised $50 million to build an AI agent for sales processes.
Yeah.
$50 million and it's a wrapper. It's an agent.
Would you raise money for something like that right now?
I don't know why you need to. I,
First to
maybe I'm
market, maybe
ignorant,
just
but
distribution. I think,
maybe.
I mean, I don't know. It sounds like, I think the one thing that that is going to be increasingly important is positioning. So in a world where like anything can be made, like the product is no longer the innovation because it's so easily replicable. Having positioning of why somebody should buy yours versus somebody else's. Like, why should somebody buy your email software for somebody else's? Oh, well, I'm email software for veterinarians. Everyone else is geared towards e-commerce, right? That's
Hmm.
super important. And then distribution. And so I think getting somebody's attention, like there's a reason that on my iPhone 16, the whatever the button's called, the super button on the side now, quick button, quick hot button, whatever it's called, it opens up Chat GPT first. And there are other ones too. Like there's Claude, there's Anthropic, there's a million other ones. But it opens up Chat GPT first because Chat GPT was the first one that I used and is the best. I don't know, maybe it is, but it's also just the one that I think of first when I think of AI. And like
Yeah.
I think that it's hard to underestimate that. Like I know prior to the whole marketing scandal that happened a couple years ago, if you look at the sales volume difference between Bud Light and the second most popular beer in America, it was like a 10x difference, which is crazy to think about. Like I think Miller was the second one, right? And that's because when you think of cheap draft beer, you think Bud Light. And some people prefer Miller Lite, of course, but like the difference between one and two is so drastic that I think everyone's raising this money to try to be the number one in all of the categories.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to raise money, you know?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I think you missed one thing, and you said like first to market, marketing wins, community wins,
Mhm.
platform loyalty, design. I think design is very important. That's one thing that Greg Eisenberg talks about is interface design loyalty, right? Like if I build a wrapper for, let's say I want to build a wrapper that is a like a handyman app. And
Mhm.
it's just chat GPT for fixing stuff around the house. If someone gets used to using that, even if the design isn't great, they're just like it becomes part of their daily routine and their habits. Like they'll use it for a decade. They'll use it forever. And there's going to be a million competitors, but maybe they're better, but they're not going to go to the app store looking for a replacement if it just keeps working.
I still think that feels like it's first to market though, because and I only say that because like every other competitor these days can just rip off your exact same design. You had a great tweet yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever you posted it, of like secret to being a millionaire, copy
Mm-hmm.
everything, like blatantly steal and be relentless about it. Billionaire is true innovation. Like in my mind, every single company afterwards can still just copy the same exact design. And I might have my users wrong here, so don't crucify me in the comments if that's the case. But I do think that like Threads, Facebook's alternative for X, right? Like I think
Mm-hmm.
it's actually doing decently well, but
It
like
is.
it's got arguably better, but like very good design compared to X. But like X just been around for so long that like the
Mm-hmm.
distribution matters, and I think if Threads launches a standalone app, I think it would flop hard. Like I don't think it would get nearly the amount of
Threads
traction.
does have a standalone app.
Sorry, what I mean is if they did not get the distribution from Facebook and Meta,
Oh, right.
like
Right.
if
Agreed.
so and so came out and launched the same exact designed product,
Yep.
I don't think it would work.
Because it's a network effects, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
it's
and
hard
like
to
you just need
recreate
that
that overnight.
distribution from day one.
Yeah. I just think that from like my handyman wrapper idea, I feel like let's say I went and raised $100 million to launch a handyman app that was just a chat GPT wrapper. And we just threw it all at Facebook ads. I feel like just because of the small percentage of people that even knows this is possible and the large amount of people on this planet, you're still only going to get a little bit of market penetration, even if you're first. I just think it takes so long to really get to Main Street, you know?
Yeah, I think that's true too. I also think with all of this stuff, like the AI part is not even going to be the important piece. Like don't get me wrong, that's what solves everything. But like understanding that it's AI is not the value. The value is that
Mm-hmm.
it's just actually that much easier of an
It's
app, and it feels
magic.
like magic. Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
Have you played around with the voice feature on ChatGPT?
Yeah, that's cool. 2 to 3 times only though. The one thing that I used it for, well, actually, going to the voice stuff that you're using it for, because I've mostly just done it when I'm sitting with my mom next to me, and I'm like, Mom, ask them like hum a song and ask them what song this is, and like to her that's the coolest thing on the planet.
I used it with my 8-year-old. We were just learning about Neuralink, and I'm like, who do you want to be like when you grow up? Elon Musk. Well, let's learn about Elon Musk. Have you ever heard of the Boring Company? No. Tell us about the Boring Company. And it was like we were driving around, we were on a date, and it was like we had a passive genius with us in the backseat that we could just opt out whenever we wanted. All right, you're annoying, get out. Oh, we want to learn from you right now. You know, it was just like a no pressure friend, genius friend that we could just talk to at any point. And that was the first time I had ever used like the conversational voice feature. And I had heard it was mind blowing, and it was mind blowing. Like I thought it was mind blowing.
Yeah, no, it feels like magic, and it feels so. I have a very stubborn friend. He's a little bit against AI right now, or just against, like, why is it so much better than Google? Whatever. For the first 10 minutes, I was struggling to give them examples that couldn't just be rebutted with, well, I can Google that. And I was going through all of my stuff because, like, I'm basically using it like Google, but I'm getting a lot better responses. And so I was trying to give them a short phrase as to why it's better. And what I've come to start telling people, and I'm sure you probably have another version, especially with Operator out now, that you tell people, is Google has everything, but you search and then you find. ChatGPT has everything, and it's like asking the smartest person in the world, and they're like your personal tutor. Like it's like a one-to-one versus a one-to-many is what it feels like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's like, think of it like 3 tiers. Let's say I want to get a job as a marketing manager.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Google and I'll say, I want to get a job as a marketing manager. And it's going to show me some blog articles, maybe from like Indeed, maybe blog articles that are written with AI. It's going to be broad. It's going to be generic. Here's what you got to do. Here's the salary you might expect. Okay, cool. Then you go up the ladder. You go to Chat GPT. I want to be a marketing manager. Okay, here's exactly what you got to do. Boop, 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 boop. But then you go up the ladder and you go to Chat GPT Operator or an agent or Chat GPT Tasks, and you're like, I want to be a marketing manager. And it's like, okay, I just submitted 1,000 applications for you. I know that you live in Phoenix. I know that you like work-life balance. You want part remote, part. So, well, let's see if we hear back. Like that's the difference.
Our 1,000-person AI agent, or 1,000 applications just went out. We just got exactly 300 responses back because everyone else's AI agent already reviewed our application.
Yeah.
And then now we're getting 300 Loom requests. Here we go.
Yeah. Or it goes a step further. It's like, whoop, okay, you have a job. Yeah. You got 4 offers, but we didn't think you'd like these 3. And we whittled it down to 1. You're going to be paid $108,000 a year. Here's your benefits package. You show up on Monday. Like, I wonder, you tell me that's not different than Google?
Well, you know Balaji, right? The big crypto futurist guy. So I actually haven't heard him talk about this in a couple of years, but maybe 1 to 2 years ago, his big bet was that in the age of remote work the idea of having a job is going to go away. And this is before all of this open AI operator stuff. His theory was that it's going to be as simple as ever to say, I have this project. It's an immediate freelance fill. Like somebody joins in, bids on it, whatever. And you're like, great, you're in. Like you complete the task. There's like a crypto contract or something like that. And then you're immediately paid out. But like the idea of having a steady Eddie going job in the long future from now is going to go away. So, interesting thing to think about here too, especially as like AI gets up and running.
It's like kind of being like a sniper. You're just hired for jobs doing micro tasks, right? And everything's like validated on the blockchain and you get paid immediately and it's all trustless. I feel like we're just further away from that than we think, That just feels like a far reach for me.
That's what I would say too. And then you start seeing all this, like all of the stuff that's come out over the last 3 years. And now I'm like, well, I don't know anything about anything. So whatever.
I feel like the amount of smart people that know about crypto and AI is finite, right? Very finite. And over the last couple of years, all the attention has gone to AI. And everything that Balaji said, like largely relies upon the blockchain and crypto, right? So just naturally, just AI booming, I think has pushed that timeline out further because it's just less of a priority. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if AI never happens, we could be there by now already.
So you've been running all of these operators, and it's at a good time too, because I quite literally need like an admin related person right now to join the team. And it's very admin style work. Send out the invoice, follow up on the emails, stuff like that.
Have you used Lindy yet?
No, never heard of
You
Lindy.
got to
What's
use Lindy.
Lindy? What's
I've got a link,
Lindy.ai?
affiliate link in my bio. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Lindy.
so
It's like Zapier with AI. Like you can use, like Zapier has an open AI integration, right? But Lindy makes it so much easier. It's just like AI plus Zapier plus equals agents that are very user friendly.
let me give you examples, and this is specifically on the recruiting side of stuff. So I'll go pretty tactical here. I make a placement. Somebody hires a candidate that we sent them. Cool. They need to have an invoice sent. Like, do I email Connors Lindy at lindy.ai and say X, Y, and Z, whatever the code word is that I set up, and then it opens up my HubSpot account and it pulls out, it creates a custom payment link based on a training that I taught it, and then sends it off to X client that I tell it to?
It could do that.
Good. Okay.
I don't know if it's only going to be Lindy because the amount of integrations they have is limited, but Lindy plus Zapier, I'm 99% sure could do that.
Okay. What about, all right, I used an ATS, applicant tracking system, to track candidates. And something that's kind of annoying is that they don't have a feature right now that gives like a third party of you. So like in an ideal world, our client can see all of the candidates that we are screening, hiring, sourcing, whatever. In the actual world, we have to copy and paste the good ones to a spreadsheet, and the clients see the spreadsheet. Can it open up that app if it doesn't have like a third party API? Like I can create like a seat for it basically, and it'll log in and do all of that.
That's probably tough.
Okay, so
I don't know if
it
you can
needs
do
the
that.
API, right?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting though. Still,
But even, but Chat GPT's operator has a feature where you can train it what to do with your mouse clicks, right?
right? Okay, so this was my original question that I was going to ask you, which was, if I didn't use Lindy, do I need to have a tab open all the time to run that? Like I log in at 9 a.m. and I open up Chat GPT and I say, do the thing where you're copying and pasting, the qualified candidates throughout the day. And then at 5 o'clock, I shut my computer and it's done.
I bet you could do that with the operator right now. I bet you could.
Isn't it so crazy how fast humans reset their expectations of things? I saw Sam
Yes.
Altman like send a tweet and was like to some person on Twitter, like, calm down on the feature request. Like, we'll give you more magic AI in the sky in like a couple weeks. This is like a month or two ago, and it's like literally a week ago today, I think is when Operator came out or something around this. And if you told me that that was possible, I'd be like, and now that we're talking about it, I was like, yeah, but I want to run when I'm not around
Yeah.
too. It's
Dude,
like,
and
not good enough.
an hour ago, I was watching a Louis C.K. You know who that is?
Yeah, of
The
course.
comedian. I was watching a clip from him on like the Conan O'Brien show from 8 years ago, because on Twitter, I posted about something incredible. And this guy commented and he's like, I don't know, I tried Operator and it was just kind of slow. And I pulled up that clip to respond to him with it. And he's complaining because he's like, this was 8 years ago. He's like, I was just on this flight and they had high-speed internet. And it was like one of the first flights where they offered it. And we all pulled out our laptops and it was fast. And I was watching Netflix and it was amazing. And then it went out and they announced like, the internet's down right now. And the guy next to me was like, this is bullcrap. This is bullcrap. And he's like, you're in a chair in the sky. You are in a chair in the sky right now. He's like, you zero contributor, waste of society. You are in a chair in this. And it's like, you told me, I had this thought when you told me about helping your dad. You're like, yeah, and I took this 150-page complex document for his insurance agency, and I uploaded it. And I'm over here like, yeah, big deal. Okay, and it's like, that's incredible that you did that. Like, how is that so normal now?
Yeah, no, it gets incredibly normalized real fast, and that's why, like, people need more hard things to do in their day to day. Like, we're sitting over here, and the average American with your air conditioning and food delivery apps has more royalty than the kings and queens did 300 plus years ago, right? But it's like, my life is hard. It's like, true, but like different kind of hard.
All right, what'd you think? Please share it with a friend, and we'll see you next time on the Kerner Office.